So, good evening, everyone. So, today I will going to make a recording about our last topic in chemical reactions. So, we have here the metathesis reaction. Okay. So, metathesis reaction is also called as the double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. There are many kinds of metathesis reaction, but for today, we will only consider the basic forms of metathesis reactions. We will limit our discussion with examples of chemical reactions that will only consider the basic forms. Okay? But before we proceed, let me first present to you a very important table or chart that you need to consider when doing the metathesis reaction. Actually, this chart is not only applicable to the metathesis reaction, but it is also applicable to the other forms of reactions. But it is simply introduced in this type. Okay? So, besides, you see here the table. This is known as the solubility chart or the solubility table. Okay, it tells you what will be the appearance of the products after the reaction or after the process. You will also see here symbols like S. If you see S, it means solid, meaning the product will be a solid substance. In chemistry, when we say solid substance as a product, the term is precipitate. Precipitate. Okay? And the symbol is small s. Meaning, if one of the products will be aluminum combined with acetate, it will produce a solid material. Now, another term is AQ. AQ means aqueous, meaning the substance that will be produced will mix with the solvent. So, for example, if barium combines with acetate, it will create a substance, a new chemical, but in solution form. Okay, in solution form. It will not create a solid material, but a new substance, but in solution form. It actually mixed with the solvent. Next, you see here dash. Now, dash signifies that that substance can either be insoluble or slightly soluble. It will depend on other conditions if it will become insoluble. Insoluble is the same way saying it will create a solid substance. Okay, it will create a solid substance. But again, if you see a dash, there will be two indications. It can be insoluble or it can be slightly soluble. It really depends on other conditions that may exist. Okay, that may exist. In the case, no, in the case that you will encounter substance that will take this dash as its symbol, just for the record, consider it as solid. Because in other charts, it doesn't contain dashes. It will really say if it is solid or if it is aqueous. But since we are using this chart, the dash simply emphasizes that there will be a double possibility. It can be insoluble, it will create a precipitate, or it can be slightly soluble. Somehow it will mix with the solvent. In our case, we will consider it as insoluble or it will create a precipitate. But if there is a blank, okay, for blank, it means if iron will mix with chlorate, the substance will not form. It will not form. One way of saying there will be no reactions because these two will not join together. Okay, so the expected product will not form. So no reaction. So if you see that there is a possibility that the substances will create compounds that will show you a blank answer, so it means it will not form the compound. There will be no reaction at all. Okay, so that's it. So later I will teach you how to really use this. Now going back, like I said, I will consider the simplest form of metathesis reaction. Okay, so let me do some adjustments first. Okay. Well, I'll do some settings here. Okay. Going back. Now, in doing the metathesis reaction, so the general equation for a metathesis reaction is A B plus CD will give you AD plus CB. Okay, we call this as the general equation. Now, so you have here a compound, and producing two new compounds. Now, what is important here is you should know how to split the compound into components. Now, so when I say split, you should know the two components of a compound, that it has a positive side and it has a negative side. Okay? The question is, how will you know if it is the positive side or the negative side? If you see a metal in the compound, that will be the positive side. If you see a metal, for example, at this point, this is a metal example. So this will be your positive side. And then the others will be the one being left is your negative side. Now, the negative side can be an element or a polyatomic ion or a polyatomic ion. Again, the negative side can be an element or a polyatomic ion. That goes the same with this one, with C and D. After splitting the compounds into positive and negative, you are now ready to exchange partners. So the positive A will take the negative D, and the positive C will take the negative D. The negative B. Again, the positive A will take the negative D, and positive C will take the negative B. So you now have this compound. So this is what I'm saying. Try to check if one of the compounds can be in the solid form or in the aqueous form. So you can only do that by simply looking at our chart. Okay? So if the compound will have an indication of S, just write S. If the compound has an indication of AQ, then write AQ. That's it. So I am not asking you to balance the equation first. By the way, there is an addition. If there is no metal in the compound, try to check if it has hydrogen. So if it is hydrogen, if hydrogen is one of the element present in the compound, then that will take the positive side. Okay? So the positive side can either be a metal or a hydrogen. So for example, let me give you an example here before we do the process. I have here sodium hydroxide. Okay? So we know that sodium is a metal. So split here. Okay, just split it there. Since this is a metal, it will take the positive sign. And this one will be your polyatomic ion. So, and it will take the negative sign. Now, for the sake of knowing what will be the charge, try to look the table that I gave you involving charges. So, just look at the table, what will be the charge of a particular element. While if it is a polyatomic ion, again, try to check again our handout that covers charges involving the polyatomic ion and look for the charge. At this point, what I am telling to you right now is simply how are you going to split a compound. Now, for example, the compound, it doesn't have any metal at all, but it contains hydrogen. So, split it along that line. Hydrogen will take the positive and the other one will take the negative. So just again, check our table of charges. What will be the charge of that element? Check our table of polyatomic ions to determine what will be the charge of that polyatomic ion. Now, for example, the case is like this one. We know for a fact that iron is the metal here. So split it there. Okay? And then, so you have here the positive side and you have the negative side. But when you look at the table, you will see there that iron has multiple charges. So the question now is, what will be the charge of iron that you will use? Which among the given? Now, go back with the compound and check for the subscripts. Check for the subscripts. So you see here, 3. Okay? Just send back this subscript back to the iron. So that will be the charge of iron. Positive 3. Okay? So again, for example, you have cobalt. Okay, so you have here, for example, you have it cobalt, OH, then I'm checking. So for example, this is cobalt 2. Okay. So cobalt is a metal, so split here. So this will be the charge, positive. But OH is a polyatomic ion. And the charge of OH is basically -1. But cobalt, again, is an example of element with multiple charge. So what will be the charge of cobalt? So check again the subscript. And then just bring it up there. So that will be the charge of cobalt that you will going to use. Okay? So that's how it works. So let me consider this example. So you have here the table. Let me expand the table a bit. Anyway, you are given the table, the hard copy of the table. I would like to emphasize that there are different forms of solubility table. What is important is you should know how to interpret the table. Now, the table here is just an example of a solubility table or an expert, not expert, but an excerpt of a more informative solubility table. Again, this is just an excerpt of a more informative solubility table. This is just for our reference. So, for example, you are given this kind of equation. You have here let me check. Okay, so you have here Ca, for example, CaOH2 plus FeCl3. So, what will be our product? Again, so you have here CaOH2 and you have here aqueous and FeCl3 also in aqueous. So meaning they are mixed with water. So what will be our product here? Like I told you, split first the compounds into their ions. Split. So we have the metal here, so split it here. You have the metal here, split it here. This will take the positive, this will take the negative. Positive, negative. Okay. Now, in the table of charges, calcium will take positive 2 because it belongs to family 2A. And calcium is not an element with multiple charges. Here, so you have the OH, and you know that OH is a polyatomic ion, so it will have a charge of -1. Ion here is a metal with multiple charges. So again, what will be the charge that you will go to consider? So in the subscript, it has there 3. So just bring back 3 to the ion. So it will be +3. Chlorine is also another material which has a fixed charge, and that is -1. So Cl negative. Now that you have the ions, you are now ready to create the product. Okay? You are now ready to create the product. So, calcium will go to chlorine and iron will go to hydroxide. So you have Ca plus 2, Cl negative 1, plus Fe plus 3, and OH negative 1. So you create now the final. Do the crisscross. Do the crisscross. Ca, Cl2. Do the crisscross. Do the crisscross. Fe parenthesis OH3. So we need to put parentheses to emphasize that the 3 here is for both the O and the H. So that's why you need to put parentheses. Next question is, how will you now describe the compound's form? Are they both aqueous, or one of them will become precipitate, or both of them will become precipitate? So let us check now the table. So you see here, it is now a combination of Ca and Cl. So look at the table. Okay, so this is just an example of a technical glitch. Okay. Okay. So just let us check here. So this is calcium. Okay. Okay, so you see here the calcium. Calcium is here. Okay. And you have chlorine as its partner, correct? So chlorine is its partner. So check for the presence of Cl. So the Cl there will be chloride. Okay, you have the chloride. So you have calcium and then chloride. So AQ. So meaning the substance CaCl2 will mix with the solvent AQ. But what happens to iron? Okay. Because okay. So you have here iron and we have here. So what was the charge of the ion used? Positive 3. So check for the ion with positive 3. Check for the ion with positive 3. So we have this one. Okay. So you see here the ion with positive 3, this one. And you have hydroxide. So the hydroxide is here. See, hydroxide. So iron 3 and then hydroxide. And you see here S. So meaning the iron hydroxide here is the one that will become precipitate or solid. Okay, so you have here CaOH2 aqueous plus so you have here aqueous plus FeCl3 and it is also aqueous will give you CaCl2 aqueous plus FeOH3 solid. Okay, again, I am not asking you to balance the equation. I am just teaching you how to create the product from a metaphysis reaction. So another example. Okay, so again, this is just the foundation. So another, we have I don't know, the system is very sensitive. It always goes with the okay. So for example, another example will be, do we have, okay, our example will be ammonium, ammonium phosphate, okay, plus zinc nitrate. Okay. So this might create confusion because for the first compound, it doesn't contain metal and hydrogen is not present in such a way how I presented it before. But you can still determine which component is the positive and the negative because you have here the PO4. The PO4 is a polyatomic ion. Okay? So you can split it here. So if that is the case, this will now become the positive side and this will now become the negative side. The other side, you have here zinc. So zinc is the metal, so split it here. Zinc will become the positive and nitrate will become the negative. Check for their charges. Okay? So ammonium, ammonium is also a polyatomic ion because you have your NH4. So check in the table of polyatomic ion. This example is just one of the exemptions. No, I just want to emphasize to you that NH4, if I am not mistaken, is the only polyatomic ion with a positive charge. So just look at the table and see there. So if my recollection is correct, for NH4, the charge is positive 1. For PO4, this is phosphate. From the table, the charge is negative 3. Okay? For zinc, the charge from our periodic table is positive 2. So it doesn't have, it's not a it's not an atom with multiple charges. So it will take only one charge, and that is positive 2. For nitrate, it will be from the polyatomic ion table, that will be negative 1. So again, you are now ready to create the compound. So positive will go to the negative and positive will go to the negative. So now you create NH4 plus NO3 minus plus Zn plus 2 and PO4 minus 3. Okay? So let me bring this up. So you have here now. So crisscross, crisscross, since they are both 1 as magnitude, so just cancel it out. So NH4 NO3 plus here, so they are different, so you need to consider putting them. So zinc crisscross. So you have here zinc 3, and then put a parenthesis because what will go down is 2, and 2 is for both the P and the O. So we have here 2. Okay, so create the reaction. We have NH4 3EO4 plus zinc and O3 2. And this is our product. Now, check our chart if both of them will be aqueous or one of them will be a solid material. So NH4 ammonium and NO3 nitrate. Again, check the table. Okay, so you have here ammonium, and the other one is the nitrate, this one. So you can see here that in the intersection, you have a Q. So the substance will mix with water or the solvent, AQ. Okay. For the other, we have zinc and a phosphate. So, again, check the chart. Okay. Check the chart. The system is very sensitive. Okay. Okay, zinc and the phosphate. So you have here the zinc, you can see here, and the phosphate is where? It's here, phosphate. So what is the intersection? The zinc and the phosphate will intersect at S. So, solid. So, meaning, the zinc phosphate created is the one that will become solid or precipitate. So that goes now with the reaction. Again, as of now, I am not requiring you to balance the equation because that is a separate lesson. I just want to teach you and for you to know and to learn how to predict the product in the metathesis form of reaction. What we are doing right now is just the basic form of the metathesis reaction. The advanced forms are not included in this lesson. Okay, so I think that would be, this is just a supplement to our lesson in the classroom. So thank you and good evening.